Let's do this. Who am I going to pick on? Abby, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you lead us in prayer?
Yes. Dear God, thank you for another great week, and please bless everyone has a great rest of the week, and we have a great confirmation class. Amen.
Amen. All right. Let me give you where we're at. It is 6:05. Susan and I must leave at 6:40 to go upstairs. There is a surprise baby shower for Kristen tonight. Hopefully, I think we've pulled it off in here, kind of between bell people and choir people and some other staff and stuff. We've been secreting around for 2 weeks now, so I think we may have pulled it off. If she doesn't know, she's not letting on in here. So we need to leave about 6:45 for a few minutes. So I'm going to kind of work in here. I've got some work for you all to do while we're gone looking stuff up. So I'm going to try to schedule things to get to that point. Yes?
Would you like a student teacher? Because I'm a great teacher.
No. Let's think about this. 12-year-old teacher. That's great. How many times we did really good?
There's so many ways to go with that line. I'm sitting here. That's like,
That's good.
there's just so many ways to take that and go with that. I'm really at a loss of where to take that. I think
Confidence level, that's good. Very confident.
that's good. All right. Let's do this. Let's just start. Okay. Anyway, let's just start. Okay.
What is it?
You need to turn the tape on.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so it's running. Okay.
Oh, hello.
So Maddox, I'm a great teacher, is actually on that.
We're going to watch that forever.
That's right. Okay, let's watch this. Watch the recap. This is from 2 weeks ago, the last time we were together. This is from 2 weeks ago, the last time we were together.
There was a man called John the Baptist, who was actually the cousin of Jesus. He would often baptize those who decided to follow God, dunking them in a lake as a symbol of their choice. One day, Jesus came to John and asked him to be baptized. When he did, he saw the sky split open. Then he heard a voice from heaven say, "This is my son, whom I love." Then Jesus went out into the wilderness. There, the devil showed up and put Jesus through a series of tests. Jesus refused the temptation, and the devil left. Jesus continued to travel across the areas, meeting with everyone, telling them how they could live God's way. Jesus healed people with all kinds of illnesses. He spoke about a new kingdom that was very different from anything people had heard before. Many people were amazed, but some of the religious leaders were angry and fearful as his following grew.
All right. Let me get in here. Where am I going? Brain cramp. Sorry. All right. Let me get. All right. Says Maddox is a great teacher and we need a subject.
Oh, gosh.
This is happening.
Like I said, baby, so many ways to take that, all right? I need you to review, we need a review of the group.
Oh, gosh.
We need to review story arc, both Old Testament and New Testament, as far as we are. And you can use the white marker, the flip chart there, okay?
So do I have to, like, ask them stuff?
Yes, you're the leader. Now either you can teach it,
Let's do it.
Oh, gosh.
or you can simply make them do it.
Okay, so does everybody
I can give you a hint how I do it. You know how I do it. have to drive.
Yeah,
I'm
this is-
telling you, this is talking about classroom teamwork.
Oh, don't forget you can use your notes. Tanner? Anything you'd like to say? Okay.
Ah, smart out.
So, where does the story arc start? Does anybody know?
The beginning of time. Yeah.
Do I have to draw it? So am I just supposed to go through the story arc?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm not
At least the high points.
Like, okay. Okay. So, Jillian. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Started with Adam and Eve in creation.
Good.
This is too good.
The Abraham covenant and the sacrifice of Isaac.
Good answer.
The Passover in Exodus.
Okay.
The Sinai covenant.
Yay! There's some boys over here to answer that question.
I don't know.
Joshua and the Promised Land.
Oh,
Join them. Let the boys answer.
I don't know.
The David covenant. Okay, boys. I'm gonna be like Pastor Mark and just call on you. Tanner?
Well, this is enlightening, I'm telling
Tanner,
you.
look at your notes. We have notes. This is actually for a reason.
Notes.
For a reason.
Solomon, sure.
What?
No.
Is that right?
Yeah,
No.
you take that.
That's not.
Yep. Don't have to get it, don't have to get all of them, I want you to make sure, just get, guys, I want you to get the major points off the Old Testament,
Oh, I got one then.
okay?
The David kingdom, and then David, Bathsheba, and Solomon.
I got one.
So are we supposed to like talk about these things? Or?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, sorry, I told you that wrong. It's the divided kingdom, not the David kingdom.
I got the best one out of all of them.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
Oh look guys, it's right in the top. Any other boys?
Come on, Danny.
Good boy.
No.
You should have a story arc in here.
I don't have notes.
Yeah.
Take notes.
The kingdom falls, and then the birth of Jesus.
And that's basically it.
The kingdom falls before.
That's all we have.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Kingdom falls before.
You're gonna let her teach the whole time?
Yeah.
You want me to?
Yes?
I want to see this.
We'll see how this turns out.
Alright.
What?
I've even got snacks.
And it's
Yeah, you
all
owe her
Maddox.
french fries.
Maddox, this is
That's
all
the
being
rules, you owe her, she owes french fries, you owe her french fries.
Maddox, this is all being recorded.
Alright, you good?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Does she have it?
I think.
Yay!
Hopefully.
You got it? Do you have it? No, seriously, did you guys get anything? You want to add anything? Okay, what were the major, this is basically, we're gonna, thinking Old Testament. And by the way, good job, Maddox. Everybody give Maddox a hand. Yay! That's right. The last time she said it's gonna volunteer for something about being a good teacher. Here, right? So on this is good on here, the Old Testament story arc. What are the major points in here we want to make sure that we've got? Yeah.
The covenants.
Which one?
David. And
All right.
Abraham.
David, Abraham,
Sinai.
and Sinai. Okay?
Sorry, it's not very neat.
No, it's all right. As neat as what I do. All right. What are some of the other major issues we need to, as you need to stop and before we go on, some of the other major things in that Old Testament you need to make sure we remember.
The kingdom divides and then falls.
Okay, the divided kingdom, okay, and the fall, all right? The fall was because of what?
Sin.
Fails.
Yeah, sin, Baals, right? Good.
Same thing.
Okay, in here. What were they not doing?
We're worshiping God.
All right, or
What's the name?
put it in this language here. What were they not doing? You're right. I'm trying to make you put it in this language.
Worshipping the veil.
They're worshiping the Baals, and if they were worshiping the Baals, what were they not doing?
Obeying God.
Obeying God. This language. You're all right. I'm just making you use the language we've been talking
They
about.
broke the part of the covenant.
Thank you.
Oh.
Got it? You were all, hear me, you all were right. I'm just looking, making you use the language we've been talking about, all right? They were broke these covenants, especially this one, the no other gods, and that led to this, and that led over to this.
French fries?
French fries? No, I had mine. Okay? I got French fries from here, and I got French fries from over here. Landon too. Okay. So now what I want you to do now, New Testament. We're just part way through the New Testament in the story arc of the New Testament. So let's just piece together a story arc of the New Testament. Where have we gone so far? Yeah.
Jesus is born.
Born. All right. What's next?
Jesus.
Starts telling people about heaven and...
He stays in the temple and gets left behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll work.
Yeah.
High five, Scott. Yeah.
Good, because we didn't talk about that one.
And then he gets baptized.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're on a roll. Yeah.
Yeah,
You should stop. You're gonna run into something.
maybe she.
Get it?
Maybe
Starts
she's
preaching
teaching next
about...
time. All right.
Yeah. No.
And what?
He starts preaching.
Okay.
Great stuff.
Anything else, guys? Yeah.
He was crucified.
It's a little. We're not there yet. Okay, you're right, and that's down here. We're just not there yet.
He recruits his disciples.
All right. What's that?
He recruits his disciples.
That's right. Very good. Okay.
That's what I was saying. Let's see.
Okay. I'm going to give you guys compliments, by the way. I want you to make sure you hear me. This is good. I am very impressed that you guys have caught on to this. There's a lot of people, adults could not give this back to me like you guys have. This is fundamental pieces of the story that you guys now know, and you pretty much know them in order now. Okay? Going in, you guys are getting an incredible grasp of Old Testament and New Testament. You may not think it, but I can see it how you're processing and running through stuff like this, that you're catching on to this. Okay? So great job, thank you. Makes my job and my life here fun. Okay? What's next? All right. Let's do this next. Anything else anybody want to put on here?
Yes.
Yes.
He performs miracles.
Miracles. We're going to talk about that tonight, actually. Yeah.
This would go after he was born, but when Herod tried to kill all the babies
Oh,
in
yeah.
Egypt.
That was very screwed up.
All right. Anything else?
There's more, but
So part of it is we're only about right there. We've only covered with our group here, we've only covered about this much. Okay? We're going to go on and pick up another major piece tonight. So let's go ahead and do that. Kick myself back over to video. All right. This is tonight's for tonight.
Almost everywhere Jesus went, huge crowds came to see and hear him. One time, he began teaching by a lake. The crowd became so big that he actually had to speak from a boat out in the water. Jesus often told stories, called parables, about everyday life that were symbolic of who God was and what it meant to live in God's ways. Jesus also performed many miracles everywhere he went. He healed sick people and even raised some from the dead. He could also control the weather. One time when Jesus and his followers were in a boat on a lake, a huge storm came in and the boat began to fill with water. Despite the storm blowing the boat around, Jesus was asleep. Panicked, his followers woke him up and said, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jesus stood up and commanded the wind and the waves, "Quiet, be still." And the storm was gone. Many people were amazed at the miracles Jesus performed, but the religious leaders, called Pharisees, started to question where Jesus got his power from. At one point, they even accused him of getting power from the devil. King Herod was also fearful of Jesus. A short time earlier, Herod had thrown John the Baptist in jail. He wanted to kill John, but knew that he was a holy man and feared what might happen if he did. Then one day, Herod's daughter was dancing and entertaining Herod's guests at a banquet. Herod was pleased with her and told her she could have anything she requested. Herod's wife stepped in, telling their daughter that she should request the head of John the Baptist on a platter. Herod was fearful, but what could he do? He had promised to give his daughter what she requested. And so he had John beheaded. And the executioners brought his head into the banquet. As Jesus' fame grew, King Herod began to worry that Jesus would bring John back from the dead. Even Jesus' followers began to have second thoughts about him. But his 12 closest followers stuck by Jesus for what was sure to be tough times ahead.
Back over here. I didn't advance this. All right, here is your story arc. This is the part over here that Maddox led us through, and these are the parts that you guys filled in right here. We are right here, basically in the third piece, kind of working our way back down. In here, we are rapidly coming to the end. Let me give you a little fill in the blank here. Make sure you guys understand. In the video, it talked about a Herod. Remember the video talked about a Herod that beheaded John the Baptist. All right. Without getting into a whole lot of genealogy and stuff, there was a King Herod that did this. All right. Was at the time of Jesus. Right with me? He tried to do this. There was a king that was King Herod, tried to kill the babies. The angel warns Joseph. Joseph gets up in the middle of the night, something that you didn't do in those days. Nobody traveled at nighttime. But the angel told Joseph, get up now and go, and they leave in the middle of the night. They get up in the middle of the night, leave, go down to Egypt. Herod's down here, kills the babies. A few years later, Herod dies, and one of his sons, he had three sons, and they kind of divided things up a little bit. And the Herod they're talking about in this story is his son. Right? It's typical, kind of like you have today, right? Is that today, modern day, you have senior and junior, so and so the second, so and so the third, so and so the fourth. Those days, they just Herod, and you get to keep track of who it is, okay, by the timing and stuff. So that's the difference in there, all right? Let me show you a couple of slides. One of the things I'm trying to do with you is help you get a grasp and a picture of what things are, all right? To try to make it real. You've seen us do that. See if I can't get this turned on. Let Lane give me a toy to use. So I'll see if I can do this. All right. Lane, Dave? The water doesn't necessarily go in there. All right. Yeah.
Anchors.
Anchors? No, that's a good thought, though. All right. This is a grain mill that is used for grinding grain into flour. All right. The way this would work, and this was like the day after, like it's morning after an evening rain. So it's with the water in here. They have a long pole in here coming out. And they would either attach an animal to it or they would have men push it around. You can see how it's shaped in a roll. This side over here is smaller than that side, which will cause it to roll in a circle. Okay, simple geometry. Cause it to roll in a circle. It would roll around the circle. What they would do is they would take wheat. You may actually seen wheat. Now you have seen the wheat kernels. You have the kernels of wheat. You got to take those wheat kernels, separate them from the stalk. You take those kernels of wheat, you crush them, that'll turn into flour. This is the mill that will turn that stuff into flour. It would put the grain kernels in here and push that around until it mashed out into flour. And once they had it mashed out into flour, they would clean it out, put some more in, do it again. This is how they would. This is a device that's used to make flour. This is a mill. Guesses on that one? Yeah, this took a while for us to figure out too. This is actually a wine press. Yep, it's a wine press. All right. This is a compartment. They would put a pot down here. The grapes would go in this area right here. There was a small funnel type right here, feeding it out. They would put that in here. There's missing a piece that would help lift this. They would lift this up and place it on top of those grapes right there. And the pressure of that large stone on the grapes would basically just mash the grapes. And mashing the grapes, it would squeeze out the juice, okay? When you try this at home, what you can do is, it's the same kind of principle as you take a grape, and with your thumb, you just push it and smash it on the plate. There's going to be some liquid come out. They're just doing it on a large scale.
So it tastes like that.
What's that?
Will it taste like that?
Well, what they would do is they would take this, and not knowing the entire process, they would take this going in, but they would let it set in pots, jugs, for a time. It would naturally turn itself into wine. Okay, it's not wine like we have today. The wine that we have today is made. You go, even what we have for communion, or your parents go to the store and buy. It's processed differently. What they'll do is similar. Is that they'll mash the grapes, and they add ingredients to it, and sugars and stuff, and they add what's called yeast. Yeast, when added to juice from grapes, will turn it into wine. As we know, it'll add alcohol to it. In those days, they didn't add the yeast, but grapes naturally have yeast in them. Okay. A long answer to a short question. Got it? Everybody got it? Okay. So, kids at that age, in this time period, probably wouldn't drink a whole lot of water. All right, you drank wine. Now, it's not like the wine we have today. It's very low alcohol. All right? But you drank basically wine. Okay. There was also a more common drink. They would mix wine and vinegar together. Yeah. Well, remember, vinegar is different from their vinegar is different from our vinegar too. All right. Okay. That was a common drink of soldiers, and that drink, by the way, is what they gave Jesus. Remember when Jesus said on the cross, he said, "I thirst." That common drink is what they gave Jesus. That was a common drink that soldiers would take because they could make lots of it and quench thirst and be good for them. All soldiers would carry that. Welcome to a modern house in the city of Capernaum. The first two slides you saw, I showed you, those date to the time of Jesus. This also dates to the time of Jesus, by the way. I'll use this side over here. All right. Where I am standing is, I'm actually standing on a slightly raised platform. But right here, kind of right there, this is a street right here. This would have been a street right here. The doorway into the house this would have been a door right here into a house. That probably was a living facility right there. All right. This was one right here. You might have an entire family living in these quarters right there. All right. You might have an entire family living in these quarters right here, going in. How big were those? The floor space in here, I'm just sitting here thinking, if all the Welkers laid themselves out on the floor to go to bed, I'd be real cozy. You guys would be cozy, I'm telling you. All right, just in here. But see, the thing is, nobody hung out at house. Only thing you really did was eat your dinner here and sleep here, because everybody during the day you were out working doing something. But this is a street. Here's one place to live. This would be another place to live right in here. This would be another place. All right. This is. I've got two pictures here. On one of the days that we did, there's a city called Tiberias. I'll show you on the map in a minute. Tiberias that we stayed at. This was the dawn of this was our second morning in Israel. We were on the edge of Tiberias in a hotel room. I'd just woken up and hadn't had a shower yet and stuck my head out the hotel balcony. This is the Sea of Galilee right here. You're looking at that as a sunrise. And this is Israel. This is the modern city of Tiberias. That is Lebanon over there. All right. As you can sit here and see, when you're talking about the Sea of Galilee, it is not that big, guys. All right, it's not that big. You can sit from one bank, you can look across the other side, and you can see shoreline, the other shoreline, real clear on the other side, all the way around. So it's probably not more than 5-6 miles. Okay. Okay, this picture right here, this picture was taken from right there, looking that way. Okay. I am now So you got the picture looking across this way, the Sea of Galilee. Now what I've done is I've taken you up to the north end of the Sea of Galilee, all the way to the north. I'll show you the map. Take it all the way north end of the Sea of Galilee. Now you're looking south down the Sea of Galilee. So you're standing on the north, very north end right here, and that's the very southern end right there. So you can see by the picture, you don't necessarily need mileage. See by the picture, it's not that big a spot. And this, ironically, this is the sunset of the same day that we had the sunrise. This is actually the sunset of that day. And we were, what they've done with us is they took us, we did a whole bunch of tour on a bus, went out northern part, looked at a whole bunch of stuff, and then one of the tour things they do for tourists is they stick you on a boat and take you slowly down the Sea of Galilee back down to Tiberias as the sun's setting. And, okay, in here. Okay. Here's Galilee. You've seen this map before. Just kind of review it with you. Here's the Sea of Galilee. City of Tiberias is right here. How to get you oriented. Nazareth is here. Cana is, where did we say Cana was? Right here. Cana is up in here. Wedding of Cana, we saw that one. Tiberias is right here. Capernaum is up here, where Jesus spent time in Capernaum. That was basically his home after he started his ministry, was up in Capernaum. The first picture I showed you was looking from here across. This is modern day Lebanon now, looking across. The second picture I showed you was from up here, the northern end, looking back down this all the way down here. Okay? So you can see this is not that big a spot, right, in here. And the third one was in the middle there. Okay. So, what time we got? Okay, cool. All right. Let me do this. Take out your key point sheet. All right. All right. Take out your key point sheet. What I want you to do is, one of the things we talked about in this lesson was Jesus doing miracles. What I want you to do is I'm going to break you into 3 groups. I'm going to take just groups you got, all right, in here. And if these gals need help, I need to have one of you moms come over and help. Okay, make sure the gals, if you need help, holler out, all right? There is an Old Testament passage, and there's 3 New Testament passages that go with it. So there's the Isaiah 35, and then those 3 right next to Isaiah 35. Those 4 are the group. That's the Old Testament and the 3 New Testaments. Right? The Exodus passages, and then the 3 Mark passages, and then the 1 Kings, the 2 Kings, and then the 3 passages, 2 from Luke and 1 from John. What I want you to do is I want you to look up your group. All right? I'll just. Guys, you want to go? Which guys? One of the guys. Which group you want? First, second, or third?
Yes.
Yes?
Third.
Third. All right. You guys got the third one. You guys are next. You want second or first?
First.
First. All right. You got second. Okay. What I want you to do is, hang on. Listen. The group that you've been assigned. What I want you to do is I want you to read all the passages. When we get back together, what I want you to do. Okay, what I'm going to want you to do is I'm going to want someone to read the Old Testament passage and then tell us about your 3 New Testament passages. You got it? Right? So you have to read the Old Testament passages and tell us about the New Testament passages and tell us how they fit together. You got it? Ladies, you got it? You guys got it? You guys got it? All right. Okay. Susan and I got to run upstairs.
Yeah.
We'll be back as soon as we can. Madison's in charge.
Yes!
Oh no.
You gotta make sure everything gets done, right?
Okay.
Then
All right.
when I flip to Mars and then I unflip to Mars.
What class should be?
Max, here we go.
It's depressing.
Get your work done, Tanner King.
Okay, so she's rough, I say.
You reading out loud?
I'm looking at that.
Dang it, my birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, there's only three.
I'm getting my Bible.
Okay, so did you get it? I'll wait that first team. Why don't you maybe 18, 17, this one is.
Is it like all of them together though?
No, they're just.
I just had to pick about that. What, 5 to
3,
6?
35, 1 through 7.
Who's gonna be the reader?
All right.
The desert?
We have a mom.
This is the passage.
18.
Okay. Okay.
We're already the first.
Question.
Can I have a question?
Your grandfather's always, Ahab says to him, is he
Huh? I can't hear it.
troubler of Israel?
Passages
Oh, I don't know. My first, I have to read two of them. The first one's 12.
Mine is about,
Because
while
you
he
have
was
abandoned
speaking, there
the
was a,
commandments of the Lord.
there came from the
Now
ruler's
therefore
house
send
some
and gather all
said, your
Israel
daughter
to
is
meet
dead. I
now
don't know journey further.
in the 100th province of
Very
Zebulun
nice.
and the
Yes,
400th
I can't.
province
That's my
of
favorite. Wow,
Or
okay.
just summarize
Oh,
it, you know?
through 41.
Just summarize it.
Jezreel's
Oh.
take.
Through 41.
So Ahab sent to all the people of Israel and gathered the prophets together.
Multiple
You know what, just summarize.
I'll read really
I just want you to
Just read it to
Basically,
yourself.
the apostles are
If
trained
the Lord is God, fall. But if you fail, then fall.
So,
Okay,
And the people did not.
Read it to yourself.
so they want the people
Then Elijah said to the people, I
to
use it
come.
read it out loud. I am not a prophet of the Lord. But
So basically, the people are coming to hear Jesus preach.
what you
Done.
will
Okay.
give to us.
Mine is about
Okay.
Jesus healing
So-
a daughter.
so why don't
Mine
you?
is sure.
But.
Wait,
But I
it's
will
much
prepare
easier.
the people
Were you reading the wrong thing?
No, I just didn't finish it.
And you shall partake of your God.
Wait, maybe they
Okay,
just
so
do
you do 1 through 6 and she goes through.
Guess what mine is about?
Yeah,
Mine is about the bread from heaven.
Manna from heaven. Get
Yes,
it right.
whatever. It says bread from heaven.
Manna from heaven.
No, I got another one.
Whatever. And the other one's about the Moses part of
You
it.
guys are gonna make this do. Look at this. Look at the title. Jesus used the high five, so Jesus walks on water.
Carried by four winds.
Really?
Are they about God and Jesus doing cool stuff? I think that's what ours are.
Second.
They had made it opening, they let him down, and let their leg.
Well, about him doing.
I have actually.
I'll read the next one.
Wait, I need to check actually though, because I emailed you. Oh my god. Oh, okay, Bailey got that. Balloons? What?
Yeah, I just read it.
People are done. No, I'm not. You like those people who just always on their phone.
Oh yeah, every time I look,
I'll read
it's
half.
there.
Or how about we all read, how about we all read part of it?
Read to 27. Yeah, read 18 to 27.
I'll read the other part of it.
What's up, cuz?
Oh my God, the father said to his servant, carry him to his mother. And when he had lifted him, brought him to his mother, and shells in her lap till noon, and then he died. She went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God, and shut the door behind him. One of the servants said to him, that I may open.
But thankfully for me, my first time teachers are understanding.
Mom sent me a text message.
No matter what's going on,
He said,
it's been Autumn's interesting.
Just chilling. How about you, Chloe?
So
Oh, it says. I swear that's what it says. Look at that.
she said, how came to the man of
Yeah,
God?
it's
And the man of God said to
Okay, so Maddox yours is the 27:30.
Oh,
Yours is about blinds.
run
And
at once to her and say to her, all is well with you. Is all well with your husband?
Dirty
All well with
bitch.
you.
okay, and then yours.
I'm gonna write
All is
about.
well
I'm learning about
with you.
stuff.
To the man of God, not holding his
About you. Okay. And yours.
Danny, you want to
Verse 27 at the top of the
Okay, so,
I'm in church
So
class
what-
learning about stuff.
so read the footnotes of.
You guys signed some
Say-
card. I'm gonna be right back.
Well, girl, right?
When she came to the man of God, she
Well, that's
called
true.
at his feet, and
Okay.
Gehazi came to push her away. But
Yeah.
the man of God said, leave her alone, for she is in bitter distress, and the Lord has hidden it from me and has not told me. Then she said, did I ask my Lord for a son? Did I not say, do not deceive me? He said to Gehazi, tie up
Abby, do you
your
guys have
daughter
this
and
figured
give
out?
her
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never.
I'm probably supposed to daily run.
Lay my staff on the face of the child.
So
The
she
mother
said
of the
that
child
she
said,
would be able to do it,
as the Lord lives, and as your
What'd you guys do?
and as you yourself up, I will not.
I'm not gonna do it.
So he arose.
Do this and then.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I told you about that.
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
all the
oh,
time.
And laid his staff on the face of the
That's a
child.
lot.
But there was
So,
no
Bailey was
sound.
like, convention.
Therefore,
Yeah,
your
and you
child
What?
That's
Okay,
child
Piper
that's
Williams
not the wicked.
literally
When
like,
Elisha
we
came,
play my
Gehazi
hero
saw the child like that.
Yeah, see?
And he
Yeah, it's like, she sent me this.
and and he went up and lay on the
For me, like, I have to get like the perfect angle.
I think his eyes
She barely, I literally like it. Yeah, it is. And also she.
No, it's that other one.
She eats like once every 2 days. That's what she ate like the last 2 days. She's only ate like one meal.
And stretched himself out his knees 7 times, and the child and he said to Gehazi, he said, call this Shunem. So call her. And when she came to him, he said, pick up yourself.
It's like when a boy
And he fell at his feet, bowing to
I know, like, but yeah, she
She
goes through
picked
pain.
up her son.
Oh, but I'm basically wanting to Olivia. Okay, she's like, if you want to stay with me.
That they.
So he's putting
Yeah, where they take their shirt, yeah. Oh, and they'll have like, see,
Serious.
on their back. I'm like,
You guys,
Seven.
it's actually really funny. You should be in a story.
What are you writing your short story about?
I'm writing mine about Rose elemental powers and gets experimented on, and then until she realizes, she doesn't know that she's being experimented on though, and then she realizes it because a guy comes around. Yeah, she doesn't remember, but he told her that, and then he says they have to leave that night because they're gonna terminate them. They're gonna terminate the experiment and kill the people. And so they escape and they
Is that like your guys like?
are in the wild and they actually get to civilization and I think he's gonna die. Not sure yet. I think it'd be good for the plot.
Wait, are you doing it?
You do it, we sit on the floor.
Oh, you're on the floor?
Or I might have them have a guard that escaped with them.
Ours is automatic.
Or another person who is being experimented on escaped with them and
Maybe like this is all.
or her. They're gonna have a little girl that escaped with them. That she's gonna die.
Soon afterward,
What do you
We were on
think?
the
and all the disciples and a great crowd followed.
Yeah, a little
As
bit.
he drew near,
awesome.
he gave them down.
There's really a white girl who escaped with them.
So like
Being
they're saving
experimented
us
on.
like so like
Considerable crowd.
Yeah, but they're gonna take a little girl
He had
and the little girl is going to, like, they're
Maps, are they all done?
but then
I'm done. I don't know.
Their girls are all done.
You guys done?
Yes.
You guys done?
And, and it's right, the people will catch up to them at some point. And they'll
Did you bring
I brought 8 with me.
little
You
girl.
brought me.
Yes.
I just taught your class for you.
You're seasonal.
You
And
did
thank
not.
you.
They glorify
Get
God,
out.
say a great topic.
Oh!
And God has.
Really?
You can't bring a bite of a cookie into this
About
food.
him.
Yeah, you can.
You stole our french
I
fries.
need cookies.
All he was trying to.
Was it a surprise?
I'll bring cookies next
Was it
week.
a surprise?
Wait, really?
What kind of cookies?
Can you bring chocolate chip?
Yes.
Or peanut butter? Or both? Yes.
But I need to talk to you about after.
How's that run?
We still have the last two to read.
Okay. All right.
Peanut butter?
Go ahead.
That's their
What's that?
responsibility.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'll talk a little bit. I'll kind of feel you guys keep working, kind of bring this kind of background. All right. Yes. Susan, right? It was like total surprise.
That's
She had no clue. The choir and the choir was there, and staff was there, and a few other people were out there, were kind of milling around right there by the doors in here. And bells had finished, and they would start playing bells and stuff out like they normally do. And Tony brought Kristen out, like she needed to take her to the office for something. And she walked out, and she saw everybody there, and she had this look on her face, right, like,
What the heck's going on here?
yeah, what's going on? She admitted, said, did I tell everybody wrong time? Because everybody's already there, you know? Wrong time, and she kind of posed a look on her face, and she saw me. But then she really got a puzzled look, like, what are you doing up here right now? Because I'm never there at that time. And I just simply said, turn around 180 degrees. Because she walked out, they got her a pack and play, and there was a whole bunch of diapers and gift cards and stuff. They put in there, in here, and it was right behind her with balloons and stuff. And she turned around. Total surprise. Absolute total surprise. Yeah. So it's cool when you actually, right? You got this many people trying to work a surprise and you pull it off. So, in here, all right? So cool. All right? You guys got ready? Or at least what? Or at least let's take it? Okay. All right. Who volunteered for group number 1? Who's got group 1? All right. Group 1, you're up. What I'd like you to do is listen up. I want you to read the Old Testament passage and then tell us about the 3 readings you had. All right, go.
Okay, so the Old Testament thing is, okay. The wilderness and the dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice and blossom like the crocus. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given to it. The majesty of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord, the majesty of our God. Strengthen the weak hands and make firm the feeble knees. Say to those who have an anxious heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, with the recompense of God. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf unstopped.
Keep going. Keep going. I'm talking to these guys because they haven't read it, right?
Then shall the lame man leap like a deer, and the tongue of the mute sing for joy. For waters break forth in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. The burning sand shall become a pool, and the thirsty ground springs of water in the haunt of jackals, where they lie down. The grass shall become reeds and bushes.
Okay. Who's going to do this?
Jesus, God,
In the Old Testament, who's going to do it?
God.
Right. God's going to do this, right? Right? And you caught in here, these guys, I know you guys caught it because you guys read it, but you guys caught what I pointed, right? You caught the important part of the passage. Now, tell us about the New Testament readings that you had. First one, second one, third one. Just you can describe it if you want to.
Okay, so my verse that I found was it was about a blind man being healed, and then
Can you
Mine was about the demon-oppressed man who was mute.
And mine was when Jesus healed the paralytic.
Okay. What's mute mean?
Can't talk.
Right. Okay. Alright.
And so like basically what are talking like they all talked about like in here in the Old Testament verse it talks about like the lame man moved like a deer, made sing for joy. Like
Okay.
it all talked about like whatever's wrong, just trust in God.
All right. Next, right, whatever's wrong, trusting in God, right? But it's, you had it right at the beginning, right? This is Isaiah 35. It's describing who's going to do?
God.
That God's going to do. It's one of those prophecies that God says. He says, this is what I'm going to do. And Jesus comes on the scene, right? And you see, I had you read 3. I could have you read a whole bunch more. I just had you do 3, right? And Jesus does these. You catching this yet? We're going to go on. Who has number 2? You? All right.
Well, I think she knows the question.
Okay. Who has the second group? All right.
Yeah, you're the second. So,
You read both passages?
so first I have Exodus 21, 26. 14, 21, 26. Exodus 14, 21, 26.
Yep.
And then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night, and made the sea dry, and the waters were divided. And the people of Israel went into the midst of the sea on dry ground, the waters being a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. The Egyptians pursued and went in after them into the midst of the sea, all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And in the morning watched the Lord in the pillar. And in the morning watched the Lord in the pillar of fire, and the cloud looked down on Egyptian forces and threw the Egyptian forces into a panic, clogging their chariot wheels, so they drove heavily. And the Egyptians said, "Let us flee from before Israel, for the Lord fights for them against the Egyptians." And the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the seas, that the water may come back upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon the horsemen."
Okay. Real brief summary. One in a couple of words. What's that passage about? Guys over here, what's that passage about? Because they read it and studied it. What's that passage about? It's the story of what? What? Right. It's the story of the Red Sea. Okay. And what happens at the Red Sea? I'm not asking you guys because you guys read it. What happened at the Red Sea?
Moses escaped the promised land, or not to the promised land.
Right, it's on the way to the Promised Land, right? But what physically happened at the Red Sea? Yeah.
He parted the Red Sea.
Right, part of the Red Sea. Who parted the Red Sea?
God.
I'm going to split hairs with you here, all right? Old Testament people here. Who parted the Red Sea?
Moses.
No, who parted the Red Sea? Name. What name?
Oh,
Yahweh.
oh, Yahweh.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
She said,
All right.
God.
Red Sea. All right. Now, the next passage, Exodus 16. Who's going to read? It's a long passage. Start reading, and I'll stop you. All right.
Okay. They set out from.
Just that word.
Yeah. And all the congregation of the people of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had departed from the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the people of Israel said to them, "Would that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the meat pots and ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill the whole assembly with hunger." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I am about to rain bread from the heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, that I may test them, whether they will walk in my law or not. On the 6th day, when they prepare what they bring in, it will be twice as much as what they gather daily. So Moses and Aaron said to all the people of Israel, at evening you shall know it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumbling against the Lord. For what are we that you grumble against us? And Moses said, when the Lord gives you an evening meat to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, because the Lord has heard your grumbling, that you grumble against him, what are we here? Grumbling is not against us, but against
That's good. That's good. All right? Got it? What's it about? What's the story about? Yeah.
Like when it right in the middle.
Right. Manna. All right? Manna is simply what? Bread. Right? It's bread. Okay? Now, your three passages, you don't have to read them to me, you just tell me what they are. Okay?
Mine was about Jesus healing this girl who died. She raised her from the dead.
Mark 5?
Yeah.
It's not right, is it?
Is it? Mark 5 or 35?
5.
Mark 5:35.
5:35.
I've been in the wrong chapter.
Okay. It's all right?
I'll find it.
Next one. Please, somebody's working tab, tell us what the next one is.
Jesus feeds the 5,000.
Okay. Jesus feeds the 5,000.
Yeah.
What's he feed them with?
Bread and fish.
Bread and fish. Or bread and
Fish.
fish is also called?
That's it. Oh,
Meat.
Thank you. What's the next passage?
Jesus walks on water.
Jesus walks on water. What's the first passage that we
What she said.
yeah.
Okay.
It was what she said.
All right.
So it was about.
There's one more.
Yeah.
There was 3.
Yeah.
You missed one of them.
The one that Abby said.
Yeah.
That was it. It was about the girl being raised.
Okay. Then I gave you the wrong reference. If that's the reference, I gave you the wrong reference. Okay?
Okay.
Because the third one in there, that was supposed to be in there, is Jesus calming the storm.
Oh, it was
Remember-
4:35. You were 5:35.
Okay, right? Thank you.
That was
All right?
confusing.
My bad. Right? Right? So there's 3 here, right?
Yeah.
It is Jesus feeds the 5,000, he walks on the water, and he calms the storm. Okay? I call these, when I'm teaching this in here, it's just how I describe them. This is, or I call them the Exodus miracles. Because who's doing the Exodus miracles in Exodus?
Yeah.
Right. And where's he doing them? Right? Somebody say wilderness, right? On wanderings, right? They're in the Exodus, right? They're not in Capernaum, not in the city, not Jerusalem. They're out in the wilderness. And he comes out here in the middle of the wilderness. He feeds 5,000. In the middle of the wilderness, in the Sea of Galilee, he walks on water. In the middle of the wilderness, the Sea of Galilee, he calms the storm. And he's sitting here saying, right? He's sitting here saying, right? Yahweh did this in the Old Testament. I'm doing this in the New Testament. You catching this yet? All right. Third one. All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Ahab saw Elijah, Ahab said to him, "Is it you, you troubler of Israel?" And he answered, "I have not troubled Israel, but you have, in your father's house, because you have abandoned the commandments of the Lord, and followed the Baals. Now therefore send and gather all of Israel to meet at Mount Carmel, and the 450 prophets of Baal, and the 400 prophets of Azra, to eat at Jezebel's table." So Ahab sent to all the people of Israel, and gathered the prophets together at Mount Carmel. And Elijah came near to all the people, and said, "How long will you go with me between two different opinions. If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal, follow him. And the people did not answer him a word. Then Elijah said to the people, I only am what a prophet of the Lord. But Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let 2 bulls be given to us, and let them choose 1 bull for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on the wood, but put no fire to it. And I will prepare the other bull, and lay it on the wood, and put no fire to it. And you call upon the name of your God, and I will call upon the name of the Lord. And the God who answers by fire, he is God.
All right, that's good. Stop right there. All right. And so you guys know, when it's referring to Lord in this, when he's reading the word Lord, it's that L-O-R-D that's in all caps. That means what? Yahweh, right? All right, so this is the story of what?
Wasn't it a covenant?
Close. Yeah.
It was the story about the man having God bring the fire to prove that he was actually his God was actually the real one.
All right. Elijah and the 450 prophets of Baal. Okay, everybody's grinning, all right? You said you know where we're going. You know where I'm going with this, right? Key word with you, all right? As it comes in, as Elijah gathers, the king gathers the 450 prophets of Baal. Elijah standing there by himself. They build 2 altars, one over here and one over here. And he says, okay, prophets of Baal, you pray to your God. If he can destroy the sacrifice, we'll admit he's God. Now going on the story a little bit, what happens, they start praying, they're doing all this stuff. Nothing's happening. Elijah's sitting there laughing at them and taunting them the whole time. Watch your God. Trash talking the whole 9 yards. And finally they give up. Elijah comes over here and Elijah prays to God. And God not only destroys the sacrifice, he destroys the altar that's made out of stones. He destroys everything. And then he goes over here and just for good measure, he destroys the one on the Baal side. And then just for good measure, he kills all the 450 prophets of Baal. Okay? That's the story. What's that?
So a lot of good measure taken.
Yeah, just so you're catching this, that realizes that Elijah's worshiping, right? Who? Yahweh. All right, what's the next one? Guys, what's the next passage? 2 Kings. All right.
When the child had grown, he went out one day to his father among the reapers, and he said to his father, "Oh, my head, my head." The father said to his servant, "Carry him to his mother." And when he had lifted him and brought him to his mother, the child sat in her lap till noon, and then he died. And she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God, and shut the door behind him and went out. Then she called to her husband and said, "Send me a donkey, one of the servants. Send me one of the servants and one of the donkeys, that I may quickly go to the man of God and come back again." And he said, "Why will you go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath." He said, "All is well." Then she saddled the donkey, and she went to her servant. "Urge the animal on, and don't slacken the pace for me unless I tell you."
Okay, I'm going to stop you for the sake of time. Jump down and start reading at verse 32.
When Elisha came into the house, he saw the child laying dead on his bed. So he went in and shut the door behind the 2 of them and prayed to the Lord. And he went up and lay on the child, putting his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands. And he stretched himself upon the flesh of the child. The flesh of the child became warm. Then he got up again and walked once back and forth in the house, and went up and stretched himself upon him again. The child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes, and he summoned Gehazi and said, "Call this Shunammite." So he called her, and pick up your son. She came and fell at his feet, bowing to the ground. Then she picked up her son and went out.
All right, cut it. What happened?
Her son
Right. Got brought back to. Right. Brought back to life. Another way to say that is raised from the dead, right? Right? So the passage there, raised from the dead, so that you know who did the raising from the dead? Yahweh, all right? Your three passages, tell us briefly. Luke 7.
Jesus raises a widow's son.
Jesus raises a widow's son. What's the next one? Hang on. Of course, I wrote it. All right? Somebody said,
Jesus heals a woman.
right? Heals a woman. What's the next part of the story? Right? Jesus raises a young girl from the dead. Yeah. It's a bleeding woman, right? The bleeding woman and the girl. Yep. Yeah, at the end. Okay, third passage. The third passage is what? Lazarus. He raises Lazarus from the dead. Good Old Testament scholars. Who's the only one in the Old Testament that gets to raise people from the dead?
Yahweh.
And Jesus is saying, are you catching this yet?
Yes! I think we are.
Yes, now.
I think we are.
All right. What's that?
We've caught many.
No, seriously, what did it say? Good. All right. Because what happened was the people in the Old Testament, the people in Jesus' day, didn't catch this. Or if they caught it and understood what was happening, they couldn't accept it. All right? The title of this lesson is No Ordinary Man. Right? One of the things we've been talking about this whole class is that all these Old Testament prophecies, all these Old Testament things that happen are going to come to fulfillment in the New Testament in Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we have is we're starting to see that. This is the first one we're going to do in here, is starting to see this. God says in Isaiah 35 that I, Yahweh, I'm going to, those right, heal the blind and stuff going in. Jesus comes in, heals the blind, there's demons, there's lame man. He's not doing simply random miracles because he thinks it's cool. And he comes down here, he says these Exodus miracles. Hey, it's cool feeding 5,000 people, which is a few loaves of bread in the middle of the wilderness. Walking on water's pretty cool, but calming the storm is even better. He's not doing just random stuff because he thinks it's going to get good PR. In the same way over here, raising the dead, he's not just raising the dead because it's a neat trick. He does these things for not only the people then, but the people now, for us reading to grasp. This guy we talk about, this God of the Old Testament, that's Jesus. That's Jesus. Yeah.
Ultimate plot twist.
Yeah. Right? We sat here and we said, right? We talked, remember back, way back at the beginning, we talked about I am in Yahweh and how that comes in. Talking to Moses, I am who I am. Talked about that through, remember, in the Sinai and stuff, right? Guess who that is? Guess who that is in the flesh? That's Jesus in the flesh. All right? God in the flesh has come down and it's Jesus. Who is this guy? All right? I taught this, I think maybe a couple of you guys saw me when I was have twisted it, take it a little differently. I used to teach this, and we'd go through. And the line I kept using in here is, who is this guy? That's what the people kept asking in the story. Who is this guy? Who is this guy that keeps raising people from the dead? Who is this guy that feeds from the 5,000? Who is this guy that heals lame men? Who is this guy that gives sight to the blind? They're all asking, who is this guy? And we're all sitting there going, I know. Why can't you figure this out? This is I am from the Old Testament. Why am I so much smarter than you are? Right? Right? Well, the reason we're so much smarter than they are, because we live on this side of Pentecost. Okay? We live on this side of the tomb, and the cross, the tomb, Easter, and Pentecost. All right. Any questions? Because I got some instructions I need to give you guys. All right? Turn the back side of your key plan. You will need that. Don't lose that piece of paper. All right? All right. I have sent this to your parents, all the email addresses that I have. I think I've got everybody out. Are you stretching or do you have a question?
No question.
Okay. You have a question on this or you have a question on this? This? Let me talk first. Okay? All right. It is time for you to begin working on your essays. All right? I have sent these instructions basically as it is written that you have to your parents in here. All right? Let me read it down to follow along as I read through. You are to write between 300 and 350 words. Yep. You thought 100 was long. Between 300 and 350 words on the topic, what my faith in Jesus means to me. I'm looking for what you think. I'm looking how you process the material. I'm looking for how you have taken what you've learned over 2 years and applying it to your life and how it's changing you and how it's changed you. How you take that, what you've learned, and how you have absorbed that and processing that and how it's changing your faith. What that faith means to you. Right? I don't want you simply copying sections out of the catechism. I know the catechism better than you do. And I know my Bible pretty good. Don't be quoting the long sections of the catechism because you're going to get it back at you. Okay? If you want to quote a Bible passage, fine. You want to quote your confirmation verse? Fine. You can think about that too, by the way. All right? You want to quote your confirmation verse? Put your confirmation verse in there, fine. But don't be quoting the long sections out of the Bible to fill your words, thinking, oh, here, this is a cool paragraph. This is 100 words. I can quote this whole paragraph in here and it works. I'll throw it back at you. Okay? In here. These essays will be reviewed by the staff. I will read them in detail. I probably will read them 3 or 4 times. I will share them with our staff. And they can provide input if they need, would like, back through me. I have an editor who has read these before, she is very good. She's a school teacher. She's very good about reading and used to reading your age group, 6th grade material. Is very good about reading it and being able to make grammar suggestions for you and have questions to help you clarify points. All right? When we say we're going to read it and we're going to provide feedback to you, we're going to try very hard. We're not going to change a word on it. But what we're going to do is we're going to provide feedback to you in here. Maybe it looks great. Maybe the sentence is awkward. Maybe you need to rewrite the sentence because it's not going to read right in here. Maybe you got your grammar messed up and we'll help you clear up the grammar. Maybe your thought is great, but you didn't complete it. That happens a lot. You'll have a thought and you'll make one sentence in here, and I can tell there's a lot more behind that sentence than what you told me. I want you to tell me about that sentence. Or you might get in here and you might say something that doesn't really fit with the rest of the stuff. We're going to make suggestions for you. But we're not going to make changes on it. We're going to give you suggestions on how to change it. Right? But in the end, it is your choice. It is your essay, not mine. And you're the ones that are going to read this at the end. All right? You will read this at your sharing of faith on that Friday night before Palm Sunday. And we'll talk about how we're gonna do that soon, right? The essays are due to me on or before Ash Wednesday. Okay? They need to be typed, double-spaced, in a 12-point font.
So that would not be next week, but it would be the
Correct.
following week.
Correct. All right? That is in 2 weeks. It should be typed, double-spaced, in a 12-point font. You need to type it. If you've got a computer, type it on your computer and save it. If you, for some reason, don't have one at the house and can't do that, let me know and we'll help you out, all right? Because we'll be making changes on it, so just type it and save it someplace so you don't have to be retyping the whole thing, okay? All right? The last instructions I have, and like I said, I've given all this to your parents. I have had youth come out and do it two ways, all right? I have had youth come and youth want to do it all themselves, and I've talked to parents coming in and they're walking into sharing the faith. They tell me, I have no idea what he's going to say. They haven't told me anything. I've not read it. I've not heard it. Nothing. Okay? If you want to do that, you got my backing. Okay? You got my backing. Okay? Tell your parents, if they give you any grief, have them call me. Seriously. Okay? Going in. If you need help from your parents, fine. If you need help from your parents and what to say and pulling ideas out, fine. If you need help from me, fine. You need help from Mr. Jim, fine. Contact somebody if you need help coming out. All right? Everybody got what we're looking for? All right? Your question, to answer it, or?
Yeah. Is there any, can we, if there's a verse we're gonna do, but somebody else already does it, is that okay, or is there a guy?
Yes.
Alright,
Yes.
I didn't know if we have two essays in the same verse or whatever.
You use your verse in here. The only time I get in here, and this has only happened once in almost 30 years I've been doing this, I had about 3/4 of the class all pick the same verse one year.
How did that happen?
Was it Philippians 4:13?
I can't remember actually. I don't know the exact verse. And that throws up flags. I'm going, okay, come on. What's the deal? And so I actually sat down and I talked to every one of them, and every one of them had actually a different reason. And I go, okay. They had a legit reason. It wasn't, they weren't just feeding me a line, because I'm really good at deciphering lines by now on this, all right? They weren't just feeding me a line, they had an actual reason why they wouldn't do it. And so we said, okay. It's unusual, but it's okay, all right? So there you go. If I sense that everybody's using the same verse, and it's just kind of the verse of the week, okay? I'm probably gonna start people do other things, all right? But if you're picking a verse, say all of you pick a verse, the same verse for different reasons, okay, all right? I'll stay on my teeth, right? Because because it's your essay in your words, in your thoughts, okay? I don't want you to simply regurgitate and spit back at me what I've told you. I want you to take what I've told you, how is it affecting your faith? What's your faith all about? You with me? Got it? I want to see heads shaking, right? Got it? Got it? Everybody's shaking heads? Okay. Got it? Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, sorry. In 2 weeks, do we move to 5 o'clock
Yes.
on Ash Wednesday?
Right. 2 weeks, Ash Wednesday, we will start meeting. We'll start meeting at 5 o'clock. We'll just say 5 o'clock, and because that service will be a little long, and I may bump it up to like 4:45 or so in here. If you need to eat, bring something. It'll be Lenten meals in here. If you need to grab something, let me want to come in here and eat as we're talking, fine, okay? I don't have any problem with that.
Sounds good.
All right, it's only a mess. Okay, we gotta participate, gotta work, all right? But if you need to bring food and like these guys you heard me say, if you need to bring food to get here, I don't care, okay? The only cost is, like I said, you guys come tonight, right? You bring french fries, it's gonna cost you.
Yep.
Everything else are cool, bring french fries, it's gonna cost you, okay? Okay, make sense? That help? All right, I'm good, all right?